Hey folks, Charlie Shelton here, Zippity Doodad. I am at Six Flags Magic Mountain for Fright Fest Extreme. We're going to be trying some of the foods and drinks and desserts that you can experience here at Fright Fest. Okay, so before we jump into the food, before we jump into the food, I wanted to start out with the drinks. So first up, we have the Demon Lure. This is a spicy blackberry margarita with Jose Cuervo Silver Tequila.
Make sure you see that tonight.
Yo, that is sweet. I don't know why I'm surprised. Cocktails in a theme park are usually sweet, and this one is no exception. But unlike a lot of the other cocktails in a theme park, I can actually taste good spirit. It's not just alcohol flavor, it's actually like, this is nice. This is a nice tequila, and it's enjoyable to drink. So if you're gonna have a sugar bomb, you know, at least this is, whoa, it's really sweet, but it's very enjoyable, and that spirit comes through really nicely, which is what you want at a Halloween event. Next up, we have the Boo Goo, a margarita with Jose Cuervo Silver Tequila and melon liqueur. Now, full transparency, like, I don't usually do tequila, but this is really nice. But the reason I did this is because of the melon, because I want to see how it compares to the Devil's Elixir at Knott's from last year or the Toxic Waste from Knott's this year. And both of them were very melon heavy, so I'm interested to see if how this one goes.
And they were like so excited when I saw it the first time.
Okay. This one is a lot less melon forward. This is like an accent of melon, which I think is what I want. It doesn't say, oh, it's a margarita, so it's already got some citrus to it. There's some tartness coming through that balances out the sweetness. This is now my third Halloween haunt melon-based cocktail, and this one is the best. I was not expecting to be able to say that for this one, but this one is actually really good, and I could have 2 or 3 of these. That's really nice. So those are the 2 that we've tried here. I want to run down the list of some of the other options they have, because they did give me the full list and we got to see them all laid out here. So in addition to the Demon Lure and the Boo Goo, we also have a Devil's Punch, which is cherry lemonade with Jack Daniel's whiskey, Hellfire Water, which is peach lemonade and Fireball whiskey, a blood bag of sangria or a cocktail-filled blood bag, a spiked syringe, cherry and lime gelatin-filled syringes, which are making a comeback. That I remember back in the day at Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, that was like the standby, and it was either an alcohol syringe or the full throttle energy drink syringe, and then like, that was an interesting night when you have like 8 of those. So I'm really happy to see the Jell-O shot syringes coming back. And then there's also, you know, beer and other things throughout the park. So that's everything they've got. We're going to take a look at everything. Let's go have some food.
You have a soul-stealing device.
I do. That's why I'm here.
Ah, I see. Well, I have no soul for you to steal.
That's why you're still here. You're walking around. You're fine.
That must mean you're also soulless yourself.
I am. I'm with the media, so that's part. It goes with the territory.
That makes sense to me.
All right, let's get into some food. Six Flags has thrown out a bunch of stuff for us to try, and even more for us to see. I had a chance to speak to one of the kitchen supervisors who helped to design the menu.
Attention guests, zombies, demons, and ghouls are descending upon the park tonight. The estimated time of arrival is 15 minutes. Those choosing to flee must do so
right now.
This event is not recommended for children or others who do not wish to be scared. There is no place to hide. You have been warned.
Okay, so here's a side note. I was here last year. We had passes. My son loves coasters. That warning siren plays throughout the day saying, hey, if you're going to be in the park past 7 o'clock, there's going to be zombies and stuff. My son is now mortally terrified of zombies. So every time that would go off at 2 in the afternoon or something, he'd turn to me and say, do we need to leave? Are there zombies? And every time I'd say, no, it's not until 7 o'clock. But I didn't realize for the last year how often you hear that siren throughout the world. So every time we're somewhere and like a truck is backing up or somebody's pulling out of a parking lot and you hear that, he starts screaming and running because he thinks the gate is opening and zombies are coming out, but it's like a Tesla. But that has been a year now, and so that sound is now associated for me with zombies. Anyway, if you're here during the day, even not as a park guest, explain it to your kids. They only come out at 7 o'clock. So, let's dive into some food. Six Flags has brought us out to this awesome media reception, and they've laid out a bunch of food for us to try and even more for us to see. I had an opportunity to speak to one of the kitchen supervisors who's in charge of designing the food program this year. Let's see what he has to say.
So for Fright Fest, we're bringing several new limited time offers that we're going to be offering throughout the park at our locations. We definitely like to incorporate, new meals that kind of go with the season for Fright Fest to kind of give our guests a new, different dining experience when they visit the park throughout the Fright Fest season. So we incorporate a little bit from like entrees, appetizers, desserts. That way the guests can have like a different dining experience as they visit Fright Fest for this season.
And what are you most excited about?
Food-wise?
Yeah.
My personal favorite would have to be the Scaracha Wings. I'm a big wing fan, so every time that the Fright Fest season arises, that's something that I look forward to.
Okay. And if there's one thing to recommend to everybody, would it be the wings?
I would do the wings, personally.
Okay.
That's my big favorite.
So there's lots of stuff to look forward to. I have a bunch of things here in front of me. I'm just going to dive in. Looking at everything here, I think the thing I'm most excited for is the zombie Birria nachos, because they gave me an entire chafing tray and said load it up how I want. So I don't know if this is how it's going to be when they serve it in the park, but like, look at that. Look at how much I was allowed to put on. This is insane. Wow, that's good. The white queso sauce on top is just awesome. It's just a little bit spicy. The birria is really tender and soft, but like a really robust flavor. That is fantastic. I could totally do a whole plate of those, which is how it's going to come at Fright Fest. I need to move on to other stuff, but starting out early, that was fantastic. Now this they didn't put out on the table for me, so they don't have like a really nice prepared one that I can show. But over in the food line, they have pulled pork mac and cheese and smoked brisket mac and cheese. So, I'm always a proponent of barbecue. It's only okay. The mac and cheese is a little runny. And pulled pork is really hard to be really impressive. Anyone who's seen any of the other reviews on my channel kind of has heard this sentiment before. If you're going to do pulled pork, it either has to be really, really mind-numbing, really good, or don't try. Because if it's not stellar, it's just kind of meh and unappealing. So that's how I feel about that. And the mac is only okay. It's a little runny. Like, I want it to be thicker. Let's try the brisket mac and cheese. I also got to cherry pick, so I got a lot of brisket. So the brisket's okay. It's served Missouri style, so it's cut really, really thin, and it kind of, almost like zombie skin, which is fine for the event, but it doesn't. I mean, I know I'm not here, it's not like a food festival, but still, like, if you're going to do smoked brisket, I want to see what they're going for. I want to see I want the barbecue experience, and it's just too thin, and it doesn't give enough of that like rich meatiness. Same mac and cheese, similarly a little thin on the sauce. It's not bad. Like, the flavor is good. I just want a little bit heartier. Like, mac and cheese is like stick to your ribs, So we started strong with the nachos, but this fell a little flat. It's the Fright Fest Extreme burger, and they've given us little tiny cute ones to try. So if you're seeing menu descriptions on the screen, it's because I found them later in the night. I don't actually know what's in any of this. So I think this is a jalapeno popper, and there's like an aioli and some pepper jack cheese, so it's going to be spicy. Yeah. Even in like a little meatball slider size, I can tell this is going to be a fantastic full-size burger. It's spicy. but the flavors are working really well together. That jalapeno popper on the burger seems like a gimmick, but like between that and the sauce and the burger and everything, like it works really well, and it provides some really nice creaminess and some texture to it, which I really enjoy. That was really good, and honestly, I'm gonna find that in the park later tonight because I want a full-size one. That was good enough to where I want to see the full thing. I know I'm gonna regret it because it is pretty spicy. I can feel the heat building. And now from here on, we're only doing spicy things, so it's ramping up. But this is like a pleasant level of spice where it's like a nice additive, but it's not, you know, melt your mind hot. We're gonna move on. This is the honey fire pizza. So it's got hot honey and honey hot chicken sausage, something like that, and spinach. So, you know, I'm eating my vegetables. This counts. Someone tell my wife. Okay. It's okay. I don't know. I feel like I wanted the sweet to work better than it does. Like it's a good savory sausage, and I kind of just want to focus on that. I don't really need the sweet. Because it's also like that thick French bread style, Pizza Hut style, you know, thick pizza. Maybe if it was thinner, it would be different. But for what it is, I don't think the sweet works for me, but it is still a really good slice of pizza. I think almost like if it had like peppers or something instead of the sweet, that would have just made it all the way savory and more in one direction. It feels like it's kind of split, to be honest. So next up is the Scaracha Wings, and Abel said this is what he's most excited for, and I think it's what I'm most scared of, which is why I saved it to the very, very end. They look hot. You know when you look at something and like it's got like those cartoon yellow lines coming off of it without even touching it, I know it's hot. I know it's gonna hurt. So I know I'm gonna regret this. However, did you know there's a proper way to eat a chicken wing? You can just pull off the bones, just boop, and have a little pocket, just like a little meat pocket, so that it doesn't hit your lips, because my mustache will burn all night. So it just comes out, and there it is, one little bite. They weren't as hot as I thought they were going to be. They're still pretty hot, but they weren't as hot as I thought it was going to be. I was really expecting to be in a lot of pain and need to go find some milk, but they're manageable. I don't know that I would really want to do a bunch of those and then go through a haunt. Like, it is hot, so if you scream too hard, like, you are going to feel it. It is coming back a little bit, but it's not like for one wing to just try it. It's manageable, which is better than I thought it was going to be. However, it does make me look forward to dessert all the more because it's a classic worms and dirt graveyard pudding cup. So I think I need pudding to cool it off. So the texture's a little weird. Like it's visibly, it looks a little strange, but the flavor is great. Like, it feels fine in your mouth. It feels uniform, but it just kind of breaks apart a little different. Maybe I got a weird cup. I got a weird cup. So it's not that mine was off. There's two different kinds. There's a light and a dark cup. I started with the light. The texture's a little, like, it looks different, powdery. Like, I don't know if you can see. It just looks a little different and a little strange. The flavor is fine, but it's definitely a lighter flavor. Let me try the darker chocolate. Okay. That's more like normal pudding, like, you know, Kraft snack pack, Lunchables, classic chocolate pudding. And how can you be upset eating worms and dirt? You know, like, it's not going to blow me away. They're not going to reinvent it. They've had it probably since, I don't know, like the 1700s or something, like ever since they invented gummy worms. Nothing has ever changed. It's never been better. It's never been worse. It's always been amazing. And there's nothing that's ever going to change about it. So, you know, they're not reinventing the wheel. I'm not blown away. But similarly, I'm having a great time. I'm at an amusement park eating worms and dirt. So it's a good day. Okay, well, that's everything. That's all the food. Thank you guys so much for coming along with us. Six Flags Magic Mountain Fright Fest is open now. If you check my channel, I have a lot more videos from the event. I also have a full review right up there of everything at Fright Fest Extreme, as well as Horror Nights, and I got Knots coming next week. I'm all over the place. So we hope to see you again. Thank you so much for stopping by.